Greetings, YouTube. Neil Dawes here. Say, about a year ago, I recorded a video, and ironically, one of my more popular ones, as it turns out, where I shared a few thoughts on a couple mandolins that I had. The Lohr LM370, and especially the Hohner electric. Almost everything I said in it was wrong. So it's kind of embarrassing to go back and admit I've been doing it wrong all this time. And it's such a silly, simple thing. So it's like if there's one thing I suppose I've just learned in 4 years of, I'm only 4 years into this mandolin thing. But it's so fun, and I just keep, and I didn't mean my channel to turn into like this all mandolin channel. Just every time I learn new music, it's on a mando, so it works out that way. Anyway, I went on this last video and I complained an awful lot about my little Hohner. I know how to pronounce it. It's Hohner. I just think it's funny. It's got a silent H in the middle, so I always say Hohner because I'm weird that way. But no, obviously Hohner, little electric mando, and I ragged on it for a bit. And then I talked about my little Lohr LM370, and you know, said better things about it because, you know, it's pretty slick. But still, one of my big points of that last video was comparing this to the higher end mandolins that I would play, and noting that even though the other ones played better, I think I used a Kentucky as an example that I had played a couple days before that was just played like butter, but this was still you know, a viable, you know, solid, good mando and stuff. All that's pretty much right, except for the most simple thing, and it's so embarrassing because as a guitar player my whole life, I'm such a stickler for the setups. I take my strats or whatnot, and it's been forever adjusting those intonations. Never did it on the mandolins. I don't know why. I know when I bought this here in Minneapolis at the Homestead Prairie Pickin' Parlor, I thought I'd read on their website that they came set up, and I just honestly didn't pay that much attention. I thought it was done and just never checked it. Well, also in that first video I was talking about getting a tone guard. Look, I got a tone guard. These are sweet. Highly recommend the tone guards. Yeah, the things weren't set up. And especially this one. Took a bit to get it. The thing is wonderful. Sorry, Hohner people. I love your little mando. I had to do a little tweaking, especially on the bridge. Like I had to get this thing as high, I don't know if I can make it work here, as high as it could go on this side. Because there was a lot of buzzing. And to the point where everything on the top two strings above about the 5th fret would just fret out. I just had to, and I had tried to adjust these before, but even with pliers, I couldn't crank on them. And one of the D strings, I couldn't even hardly tune with pliers. But hey, guess what? WD-40, it's a wonderful thing. I don't know why. This thing has sat in my basement collecting dust for 4 years because I just dismissed it as, that's a piece of junk, and went on and bought more mandos, which, let's be honest, it's fun to buy mandos, so you're always looking to pick one up. But yeah, I got the string. This bridge cannot go any higher, but I got as high as it can go. It's off the fretboard. WD-40, the tuners are slick as hell. It still hitches a little on the D string. But it's a lot easier to deal with that with the smooth tuner, and you can get it to settle in there. And then it turns out, I mean, it's all nice. Who knew? And it sounds really nice plugged in. One thing about when it's plugged in, the E string isn't quite as loud as the rest. That would be my only, and I don't even call it gripe. Because I could just kick myself for not bringing this along to all my gigs as a backup. The last few years, every time I break strings or stuff, I just make do on the other. Such an idiot. Hohner, it's a nice little mando. I paid $200 for it, so obviously it's not going to be some solid wood thing or whatnot. But man, it sounds great through the amp, and I did that thing a big disservice on the first time. All right, the Lohr, same deal. It played a lot better, you know, right off than the other one did, but I'd still never set the thing up. And I never bothered to do the thing where you loosen the strings and find the right intonation, and I don't know why. I'm an idiot. And I started watching a lot of Jerry Rosa String Works videos, and various people setting up their mandos. And I was like, you know, light going off. Like, geez, maybe I should do this to mine. And I did. And guess what? I mean, it's everything about it. It's just so much better. And I know this because I've done this with my guitars for decades. I don't know why I didn't do it. But, man, this thing just plays like butter. Might even have to come back up a hair in the strings. Oh, also I went to heavier gauge strings. I went to the 11s. And it makes it a little more thump in the sound too. And this thing played good before, but then plays great now. I mean, it's like butter, and it's, I mean, in tune all the way up the neck. You know, before you could never do these droning strings because they were never in tune, or I try to minimize it a whole lot, you know. But yeah, that's amazing what being in tune all over the place does. And of course I lowered the action a lot, and I bet I was breaking a lot of strings because I had this angle that was really sharp going over the bridge. And the last gig I did, because usually when you break a string, you know, it's annoying, but there's another one right there, so at least you still got something. Well, last time I broke both A strings, and it's really different game when, like, hey, there goes a quarter of my notes. And especially if you're doing, you know, can't do any of the double stops or harmonies or whatnot. And anyway, I can't believe I finished the stupid gig with 3 strings rather than having this one, which is perfectly usable as a backup to just jump over to. And gosh, even to prove the point, I even have the cheap old father-in-law gave to me 20-something years ago, Lotus. I think this thing's worth $50 probably. But guess what? I did the same thing to that. Setup, adjustment, brand new strings. Well, this thing's pretty slick too. $50 mandolin. Sounds and plays great with the setup. The setup. Everything sounds and plays so much better. So I guess the point of the video is, if you buy a $50 mandolin, $200, $400, $8,000, whatever. I was playing a $6,000 Weber at Pick and Parlor, and I swear to God, I mean, obviously this is not in the realm of a $6,000, but it ain't far from it. I mean, certainly to your average audience person, I don't fucking know. And man, once it just, now I'm curious to try the Eastmans, really curious to try an Eastman, because I'd be curious to see what a difference a rounded fretboard would make. Not that I have any problem with this one, especially with the action set so sweet. But you know, just curious. And as long as you're out there, YouTube mandolin folks, like I was whining in my first, not whining, but in my first video, kind of wanting the tone guard, and I got one, and it's awesome. But something else I want is the armrest, because I saw this thing like crazy, and I come off a gig with big purple spots on my arm, and I just wonder, can you do both? I've never had an armrest. Can it go on there if this is here? If you know, let me know. If I figure it out, I'll get an armrest at some point. I'll post one saying. But anyway, that's my thought of the day. All the mandolins are nice. I'm just an idiot. The Honer is sweet. The Lore is sweet. Shit, the Lotus is sweet. The setup is the most important thing. I'm an idiot. I've done this wrong for 4 years. I didn't tell the folks in my band. Don was like, they're going to be so amazed when you tell them that you figured out this thing. I was like, oh shit, I'm not saying a word to them. I'll just let them hear it sound better. All of my gigs too, I'm always fighting the tunings between the songs, you know, especially that A string. Is it just me? It's always the A string. Just I was doing it wrong. Who knew? No, I'm an idiot. Living, you know, figuring it out as we go, just like everything in life, huh? Living, learning, figuring it out. All right, everybody, have a good day. See you later.